Hey everyone, it's Average Gatsby, and welcome to another one of my guide videos for the Hammerhead Firewalker DLC. So let's get started. I'm picking up right where I left off on the last planet, getting myself some fuel. You want to get fuel in between going to each of these missions, simply because the planets that you have to travel to it's a fairly long distance. And now we're going to go pick up the research that they were apparently working on. I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible and just kind of focus on the gameplay, showing you where everything is, and if you want to do a quick run-through, doing that. But I'm not going to spend any real time talking about the story or anything, because you can find that out on your own, and there's no reason for me to give it all away here. I'm already giving away most of the missions, so... Anyway, same procedure as before, just landing. Squad mates don't matter at all, so pick whoever you want. Now, one thing I did want to say before we go much further in this is, I think these DLC missions, I don't know for sure if you can do this, but if you can do these right at the beginning of the game, this is a great way to get a level, or get close to leveling, before you take on Morden's mission, or just some, any of the early game. Just leveling up before you get to Horizon, because you tend to want to be as strong as possible by the time you get here. And anyway, so the first thing you want to do, even though I didn't make it right there, and I was kind of hoping I could, but it's actually a little bit quicker if you go down here at the bottom first, and aiming for that spot on the upper level is a really good way to make sure that you land down here on the bottom. It'll help you just, be more accurate and whatnot. And then you're just going to fly up here, and it'll take you all the way back up to the top. In this guide, too, I'm going to be showing you each of these resource points and where to get them. Because that's mainly what this mission is. It's more platforming. It's kind of funny, but this is really the platforming of Mass Effect 2 is this little vehicle right here. And I think it's a lot more fun than the Mako. I kind of wish they gave you a little bit more resources, but you get a fair amount of resources out of it, enough for a couple upgrades in total after you do all the missions. And you do get a fair number of credits too. But if you are, like I was saying earlier, if you're at the beginning of the game, especially if you're an adept, and also to some extent the sentinel as well, you really want to get these missions out of the way. The final mission in this series will give out a biotic damage bonus, so now the new maximum is 60%, but getting that 10% boost really early game is it's going to be really nice, and going to make your character a heck of a lot stronger. As you can see, I'm kind of waiting for my vehicle after each of these points to bounce up and down a little bit before I go on the next jump. That's because it's a little bit inconsistent, the jumping is a bit inconsistent. And if you're just fresh off of a bounce, sometimes your jump, you've bounced too high, and so it counts your jump not like you're jumping up from the rock, but that you are jumping or hitting the boost button in air, which is going to give you a lot less air and cause you some problems. So right here we get out of the Hammerhead and pick up a Metagel. I didn't need it at this point, but it's kind of nice. They give you a free one right there. And I say free one because there's actually no shooting in this section. So sorry if that just spoiled anything for anyone, but it's mainly about the atmosphere and the sound and everything. I think the sound is really cool, and I think this level is really cool as well. Each of these consoles will give you information on the plot, on what's going on. But the first thing I'm going to do is go through this door, and you're going to see why I didn't explore the other doorway in a second. So just hack this door, and there's not really anything too great back here, but we are able to get some minerals, and every little bit helps out. 1500 ain't bad, so just head back to this area. And like I said before, you can go up to each of these consoles. They'll have information on some of the characters and their research, what was going on, but I'm just skipping through it for now. And then there's a locker back here that you're going to want to open up, and it'll give you just a little bit of credits, but oh well. So right here we activate this sensor, and this is basically going to trigger the end of the level event, which is when there's actually a little bit of a challenge here. Now, something to keep in note, this section, even though it looks like the whole level is falling down around you, you can actually stay in this area for as long as you want. So if you didn't read anything, don't feel like you have to rush through this whole area and get out here as soon as possible, because this section is not timed. There's another data pad right here, so you can read their logs and pick up some credits from the wall safe, although it's barely any, and you have to go around through that building anyway, so that's why I didn't go through there the first time. And so we're just gonna run down here and get back in my Hammerhead. Another thing, I was hoping I would be able to include the fighting Geth level in this video as well, but I wasn't able to do that, so it's just this. And notice how the lava is rapidly rising towards you. We gotta get out of here. So I'm hitting the jump button as soon as I hit the peak, and then when I take these hard landings, I'm waiting until I bounce a little bit before I hit the boost again, and things of that nature. As you can see, if you time your jumps right, you can get really high, and I hit the roof on both times there, and it kind of takes away from speed, but you don't really need to go that fast after that first point. And just make sure that your vehicle is all bounced out before you hit any of your jumps, and you should be just fine. Right here, just making sure that I've timed it exactly right, and the camera shake right there might throw you off a little bit, and you might do it too early or too late. If you do it too late, you're definitely not going to make it over. So, here's another little tricky area right here. If you want to make sure that you get across, you hit the boost on at that very last section, but if you cross it too fast, the bouncing of the vehicle will consider you airborne already, and you might not make it across, so I think it's good to take that little half second, just stop there, and there we go. We've made it through the mission, and we weren't swallowed by the volcano that we somehow activated by checking out some research. Then we get another mission complete screen, checking out our credits and our iridium. Anyway, I'm Average Gatsby. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll bring you the next part real soon.